Tyaga. Now we come to the main pillar of not only monastic life, but pillar of any kind of productive, good spiritual life. That is the pillar. What is that? That is Tyaga. So, what does Tyaga mean here? Now, see, Dana, Tyaga means giving up, giving up anything, not laying claim to anything. So, Dana has been spoken of earlier. What is Dana? Giving. What you call charity. So, now when it is Tyaga is mentioned again, it cannot refer to charity. Charity is also giving, Tyaga is also giving. So what does Tyaga mean here? Because Dana has been spoken of. Tyaga here means renunciation. Renunciation. Of course, that is a huge topic. So we will just a small glance at what does this mean. One quotation from Swamiji and one or two quotations from other saints, we will have some idea. So in short, what does renunciation mean? What should we renounce? If you ask someone to practice renunciation, so what should you renounce? That will be the first question. What is the answer? It is abandonment of everything which is contrary to the good of the self. When we are being asked to renounce, so once Swami Vivekananda was asked, I think, that, Sir, have you attained God? Swamiji was so humble, he said no. So then why have you renounced the word? If you could not attain God, what use? So Swamiji said, I don't know what attaining God or not attaining God. The world is not a good place. Therefore I renounced it. That's all. Attaining or not is a different question. If you know something is not good, will you make any arguments? If I give you something to eat, you know it will not suit you. So will you write a book about that? Why should I not eat this? This is not good. So I will give it up. That's all. There is no philosophy behind it. So Swamiji answered in a simple way. So when spiritual persons ask us to give up something, we should remember this. Why are they asking us to give up? They are not our enemies. They will ask us to give up something good for us. If they are asking us to give up something, it is only because they want our benefit, because they know that giving up will lead to ultimate good. If we remember this, we won't start jumping as soon as the word renunciation is read. As soon as the word renunciation is said, oh no, don't go into all that. We want a comfortable religion. Swami Vivekananda says, everybody says comfortable religion. That cannot be had. There is no such thing. All that is preventing us is our attachment. All that is preventing us from knowledge of the self is our attachment to things which are not good for us. So if we give up those, we are not obliging anybody. We are doing it for our own good. We should remember. This should be the light in which we should see what renunciation is. So in simple words, renunciation is that what it is, abandonment of things which are not conducive to our own good. Problem is when you get addicted to something, you think that giving it up will mean giving up your life. A person who is addicted to smoking, A person who is addicted to drinking, or even greater things are there now. You all know. So a person who is addicted to that, we all know those are not good things. We should give them up. But problem is that addiction is becoming so strong in that person, to him it is life. That's why he reacts violently whenever anybody asks him to renounce. Similar is our case, although it is on a lower level. We are only being asked to give up what is not beneficial to us by the same senses. That's all. In this light, we have to look upon renunciation. So, this is the most simple definition of renunciation. Give up anything which takes you away from God. So, it means actually what? Swami Vivekananda said, giving up lower for the higher. Then, are we suffering any loss? And we practice it at all levels. As soon as a child becomes sufficiently old, he starts practicing renunciation. How? He goes to school. So he would have spent his time in playing in those times. But no, we make him go to school. Enough of playing now. Why? So is he not renouncing those childish activities? He is renouncing. Otherwise, how will he progress in life? Then when he becomes older, when senior classes exams come, he has to renounce still further. Maybe 2 months before the exams start, he will give up everything. We only picture books. So is it not renunciation? When some lady who works in the house, who's got the whole responsibility of all the household work, does she not renounce? What she will do? Stay before the television the whole day? Cannot be. She has to renounce so that she can perform her duties. So every stage of life we see that without renunciation we cannot even progress one step. All the progress which we are doing is only by renouncing the lower for the higher. Yes, I am renouncing my play, my television, my movies. Why? Because I want to do good in my exams. I want to get a good job, good marks. So I am renouncing what is low for the high. So there is no loss in renunciation. It is only gain. Why do we feel a loss? Because we are attached to those lower things. Problem is not with renunciation. Problem is with our attachment. This we should remember. So, just one quotation from Swami Vivekananda. He, of course, in his unique way, he throws fresh light on renunciation. So this is a part of the discourse, short discourse he gave to his disciples in Burnaby before he left for America for the second time. So I'll quote him. He said about renunciation, "There is no time to deliver a long discourse on renunciation, but I shall very briefly characterize it as the love of death." Love of death. Then should we all go and drown ourselves in this lake here? No. Are we to commit suicide then? Far from it. For suicides are not lovers of death. As it is often seen that when a person trying to commit suicide fails, he never attempts it for a second time. Then what is love of death? If it is not committing suicide, what is love of death? He gives the explanation. We must die, that is certain. Let us die then for a good cause. Let all our actions, eating, drinking, and everything that we do, tend towards the sacrifice of ourself. Because this false self, lower self, what is called kachami, when it goes, the higher self will shine forth. God will come. So this lower self has to be sacrificed. You nourish your body by eating. What good is there in doing that if you do not hold it as a sacrifice to the well-being of others? You nourish your mind by reading books. There is no good in doing that unless you hold it as a sacrifice to the whole world. For the whole world is one, and you are a very insignificant part of it. And therefore it is right for you that you should serve others rather than aggrandize this little self. Thus, you must die a gradual death. Dying how? Your lower self must die. In such a death, in the dying of the lower self, is all good, is heaven. And in its opposite is all that is diabolical and evil. Aggrandizing this lower self means increasing our egotism, increasing our selfishness. That is all evil. And when this lower self dies, in that there is all good. Because with the death of the lower self, the higher self will come. Higher self means our true nature, our divine nature. So this is the unique way in which Swami Vivekananda has explained. And in simple way, Swami Brahmananda explained that what is this renunciation? This is a part of the spiritual training of each of us. Each monk has to meditate on this. The very basics of renunciation explained. Swami Brahmananda says, in the domain of Maya, in this world, there is both Vidya, Vidya means that is leading towards God, and Avidya, that which is leading us away from God. What is Vidya? Vidya is discrimination and renunciation. By taking refuge in Vidya, you take refuge in God. While avidya, which consists of selfishness, anger, greed, attachment, and envy, drags a man down to the level of an animal. If we cultivate discrimination and renunciation, avidya will be destroyed. If you yield to avidya, God will go far away, and all that will come to you is suffering. So both Vidya and Avidya approach a human being. Human being has the power to choose between them. And on the nature of the choice will depend his success or failure in life. It is as simple as that. So in Sanskrit, it is called Shreya and Preya. In Kathopanishad, it is Shreya and Preya. Yama and Nachiketa. So when Nachiketa asks Yama, please tell me about the secret of death, the ultimate question. So Yama says, Arey, don't bother about all this. Why do you bother? You're a young man. I'll give you everything in the world. See, this whole full of gold, silver, jewels, enjoyment, whatever you want, I'll give you. But Nachiketa is a very wise person. He answers, Yama, these will remain only for 2 days, just for a few days. And I also won't be there to enjoy them. How long shall I live? I don't want all these things, transient things. I want something which is lasting. So when Yama tests him and finds him that he is a true aspirant, then he gives him that knowledge. So first thing about that knowledge is what? Discrimination. If you want to give up something, first you should know why give it up, what to give up. That only comes through vichar. So how does Yama teach? Actually, if we just read and think about these things, it is just common sense. I mean, we could, after reading, we realize that how could I not understand this simple thing before? But our sanskaras prevent us from following it in the full measure. That is the problem. By persistent effort, sanskaras change. Anyway, so Yama tells this same thing to Nachiketa. What? Shreya and Preya. What is good and what is to our liking. Both approach a human being. Those who are not discriminating, what will they do? Take what they like. Here also, some friends may tell a person, oh, you don't drink, you don't smoke, what kind of a person you are? A sissy, all these things they will say. So, a weak person, yeah, he will say, yeah, they must be correct. Or if a person who is addicted to alcohol, all that, he doesn't, people will tell him, however much you may write, smoking is injurious to health. Nothing will help. Nothing will help till a person realizes this in his heart and has the strength to give up. Most of us fall into the first category. What is good, accept it. Who has seen tomorrow? There was one very old movie, there was one song. Kal kya hoga, kisko pata? Abhi zindagi ka le lo maza. So this is the theory of worldly people. Who knows what will happen? Get what is at hand. So this is self-destruction. That is all. Not seeing beyond a few steps. So Swami Vivekananda says, what is the difference between a human being and an animal? This is the difference. Animal does not discriminate. He will take what is at hand. He does not have the buddhi, the power of discrimination. So if we are also like that, then we are approaching animals. We are human beings, what? Means God has given us that power. But don't see a few steps only. See far ahead. Think about what that will give you at the end. That Buddha did. In Buddha's life, we find the perfect example. When he saw those four sides, then he began to think, where will this enjoyment lead me? I may be the king's son. I may have everything. Finally, where it is leading me? Same fate. Nobody can escape. Then what is the use? This discrimination called Vivek is the foundation of renunciation. The more our discrimination becomes firm, the more we tread on the path of renunciation. It is not easy because why? The old sanskaras are there. No? That is the problem. See, a person who has already started smoking, for him, after a period, it becomes very difficult to give. Why? Because he has those sanskaras. I have smoked, I have found joy. That will prompt him to smoke more. So even he may understand after 1 or 2 years, no, my lungs are being affected. But by that time, he is too deep into it. He cannot give up, even if he wants to. That is why we should be very careful. Before the sanskaras go deep, we should try to renounce what is not good for us. So this is how Brahmananda, Swami Brahmananda tells us. And of course, there are so many quotations from all religions and Christianity is full of that. So I will just quote one from the book, which is Imitation of Christ. Swami Vivekananda used to like that very much. I don't know whether you... Actually, that is for monks. It is not for... Ordinary people will not be able to relate anything with that. But still, you can go through if you like. So his words are very, very powerful, and he says, I quote from that book, on renunciation he says, vanity of vanities, all is vanity, save to love God and to serve Him only. This is the highest wisdom, to cast the world behind us and to reach forward to the heavenly kingdom. It is vanity to seek after and to trust in riches that perish. It is vanity too to covet honors and to lift ourselves on high. It is vanity to follow the desires of the body and be led by them, for this shall bring misery in the end. It is vanity to desire a long life and to have little care for a good life. It is vanity to take thought only for the life which now is and not to look forward to the things which shall be hereafter. Finally, it is vanity to love that which quickly passes away. It is today, it's gone tomorrow, and not to hasten where eternal joy resides. So, loving those things which will not stay, which are here today, gone tomorrow, is of no use at all. Nobody knows when they will go. So, it is only the wise who will discard their attachment to those things and try to get that joy which will never leave them. So, another small quotation, then I will end this here. So, in the Bible it is full of these quotations you can see. Jesus says, the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear with hearing. Means what? The indriyas will never be satisfied. You can give them lasagna for 20 years. No problem. But still it will want more. So, the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear with hearing. Strive, therefore, to turn away your heart from the love of the things that are seen. Turn the eyes away and set it upon the things that are not seen. Not seen means God or Atman or whatever you call it. For they who follow their own selfish desires destroy the grace of God. The grace of God may be there, but we turn it down ourselves. We don't want that. So there is a story behind like this, that one poor person was there. He was a grass cutter. So he was a very poor person. Every day he used to go to the jungle, huge load of grass, and out of greed he used to cut more. Then every day he used to lift his, oh God, please call me. Oh God, please call me. So God is merciful, kind and merciful. So when he prayed like this, God, please call me. One day he prayed, God came. My son, we have been praying so long. Come, I have come to take you. Oh God, You misunderstood me. I was just telling you, please help me lift this burden. I am finding it difficult. Please help me lift this burden. Why are you taking me now? I have got children, I want to see my grandchildren. My grandchildren will be married. It's too soon. You misunderstood. Please help me lift the burden. I am all right. So, this is the condition. Our president was there, Swami Vivekananda. He was the disciple of Holy Mother. A very great person. And his scholarship was unbelievable. He has written some books and Brahma Sutras. He has written that just introduction if you read, my God, what scholarship. He has translated Sridhar Swami's commentary from Sanskrit to English, and he has written 2 books on Brahma Sutras, one according to Sri Shankaracharya and one according to Ramanuja. He was the president of Advaita Ashrama, where I was there for so many years in Mayavati. Very tough days those were. In those days, Swami Pragyananda was there. So he was a freedom fighter. Very powerful personality. Holy Mother was alive there, till 1920, So Pragyananda was in Mayavati. He used to write letters to Holy Mother telling about how they are managing. So once he wrote that when in those days there was no running water. Don't even think about it. So, heating, don't even think. Mayavati, even when I had gone, maybe 10 years ago, no central heating, nothing. -5, -6, just one small heater you have to manage. And that also what happened? When there was a huge snowfall, all the electricity lines would go. So in that freezing place, maybe you don't have electricity at all for 7 days. Very common. No hot water for 7 days. No heating, nothing. So this is just I am telling you some years ago, not long ago. So imagine in those times. So Swami Pragyananda was there, he used to write letters to Holy Mother. So once he wrote that when we go for water below, they have to go, maybe one tap was there. So even when I joined, that was about 35 years ago. So from Advaita Ashrama, by God's grace, at that time also, we had some money. So we had water heating facility. But in Belur what was happening, in winter, in the kitchen, beside the kitchen, there used to be one tap. One tap of hot water. That's all. And there are so many monks. And that hot water is being used in the kitchen also. It is coming from the kitchen actually, big cauldron which is always heating up. And so what happens? How much can a vessel contain? So in winter everybody needs hot water for bathing. So one person will go, if he is very lucky he will get lukewarm water, if he is very lucky. He will take and go, next person will just stand for 10 minutes because all water is gone. So even when I had joined, this was the condition. So when we used to go to Belur, they used to make fun. Oh, you have come from Advaita Ashram. Tap fully to garam jal pahunch. Means you have come from such a big center. Just by opening the tap, you can get hot water. That was unimaginable. Even in my time, even in those times. And even now, when I come, even now, if a monk gets an apple, it's celebration time. Yeah, it is impossible. In Belur when we were there in training center, in the evening what was there? Afternoon, by that time food was okay, but in the evening there used to be 2 biscuits, not more cannot be given. 2, and that also not purchased from the market. That is too expensive. So we were in ashram in Rahada. There was a big school and a very big establishment. They manufacture biscuits. They also. So they sent to Belgium because that will be cheaper. But those biscuits are rock hard. So what we used to do, evening tea, tea means what? Hot water, practically brown hot water. That's all. So when we used to get that tea, we used to dip those biscuits so that they become soft, and then we used to eat. So sometimes what happened, our acharyas or somebody, for them a little better biscuit, glucose be something like that. In India is there. So one brahmachari used to bring those for some acharya or something by turns. So maybe he got 4 or 5 biscuits. So if he could get 2 biscuits from there, then he would show everybody, hello biscuit. I've got a good biscuit here. Yeah, but still we were in joy, we never felt anything. No fan. When I was, now of course there is fan, because now it has become too hot. I mean, you can't survive. In my time also there was no fan. No fan in training centers. Centers we had fan. Advaita Swami we had fan. Training center. So training center, the problem is there is a south block and a north block. I was extremely lucky. Both the years I was in south block. South block gets wind. South wind. In India, especially Calcutta, when there is summer, there is a very strong south wind. Yeah. That also stops in September. That also stops. But problem was, the building was shaped like this. So, we were lucky, south wind we would get, but we were blocking the wind for the north block. I used to really feel for them. Their whole body at night, what is called mattress, they would become wet. Brahmacharis used to sleep on the ground. That also, no relief, no wind, and so much humidity, perspiration, this, that. So what happened? In classrooms we had fan. So they will start dozing. Naturally, it has to happen. At night you can't sleep in summer. So anyway, these are of course reminiscences of Yale. And even words was there in, if you want to get a very good idea, you read that book in the Divine Realm, which I have translated. It is not there now, it is finished, we will get more from Yale. There it is, Bellumat is described in Mahapurush Maharaj's time. At least we had lights in the room. At that time, no question of electricity also. Those were the times.
Mosquito infested.
Mosquito infected, yeah, no electricity. And breakfast, what would be the breakfast in those times? Previously there used to be cigarette tins.
Yeah.
So metal tins in which there would be cigarettes. Now of course there is soft packages and all, but in olden times there used to be cigarette tins sold. So that small tins. So breakfast was what? That small tin of moody. Moody means air capsule. It is nothing. Just practically as good as nothing.
Yeah.
So that also, in Bellumat, the person in charge of the store is called Bhandari. Bhandari he supervises. How much shall you give, what should you? So if the person who is serving moody, what happens? That can, if you fill too much, there is a small, it exceeds the height, no. It will be like this on top. So when he used to see this, he used to say in Bengali, "Mathada ketenis," means don't give that much extra. Why give more? Give only till this level with the can, not much. So all these stories are there. Anyway, we have diverted a lot, and we have also come to the end of our time.